There he is. There he is. Say hi, big guy. Say hi. You haven't been seen in a while. I think people are starting to get worried. You're okay though, aren't you? Yeah, you're all right. Oh, sleepy, huh? Just woke up? Yeah. What else? Yeah, I know you were sleeping in there. Are you trying to go back? Huh? Are you trying to go back to sleep? Do you want to go back to sleep? This dog. You're a silly boy. Look. Look. You say hi. You say hi. Hello there, everybody. How's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I am here on this Wednesday, July 11th, 2018, with my next update video. Judging by the title, you will know that there are some things a-changing around here. Nothing major, just little things. I'm trying to work out a new format, sort of a new way of keeping myself organized, so that I don't run into things where I forget stuff that I wanted to talk about, which has happened these last 2 weeks in a row. So I'm trying to get a little bit more organized. And maybe some changes to my rotation here coming up. So let's just go ahead and jump right in, and I'm going to start with announcements. The thing that I wanted to talk about last week that I totally forgot about, and that is the Jessie Marie Does Stuff D-Stash. So that the handle on Instagram is at JMDSDstash. I announced 2 weeks ago, I think, that I was running a 10% off everything that I have available, and that runs through Friday the 13th. Feel free to have a look. There's still quite a few yarns left, as well as one piece of fabric. I wanted to make an announcement of it last week because I wanted to list some charts and kits and maybe some other miscellany. I wanted to do that last week to give y'all a week to browse and stash whatever you want, but I forgot. So I'm going to list those things tomorrow. I don't know what time yet, so stay tuned to either my personal Instagram, my main Instagram account, or the D-Stash account. I'll make announcements on both for when I'm going to list charts and kits. And again, that 10%, just take it off whatever the listing price is associated with each post. So just thought I would make mention of that. Okay, next thing is my 5th FlossTube-aversary SAL. It's happening. I'm making it a go. Like, we're going for it. Even if it's just me and like 3 other people, hey, that's fine by me. So here's the details, at least some of them. So it's going to run from July 29th through August 2nd. So that means that day 5 will land on my 5-year anniversary. And so the plan is that on July 29th, it'll be J. The 30th will be M. The 31st will be D. The 1st will be S. And the 5th will be a random whatever you want. So that's the plan there. And then I meant to check on the hashtag, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably still available. So I'm going to use JMDSturns5 as the hashtag on Instagram and whatever social media anybody uses, so that we can follow progress and whatnot. I'll probably put up an announcement post on Instagram here in the next few days, just so that people can start sort of thinking about maybe plans if you want to join me. I don't know. Thought it might be something a little fun. And I have some other plans for that anniversary. So stay tuned. Okay. Next is one of the big changes, and that is that I'm not going to be doing specific shout outs anymore. there's a couple of reasons why. The first is that I feel really weird doing them. I don't know why, but I just feel a little bit repetitive. Everybody that I watch I love, and so I have a hard time like saying something specific all the time. And so instead of doing specific shout outs, what I'm going to do is in the description box of every video, I'm going to link every channel that I watched in the previous week. So if you look down there right now, you will see everybody that I watched this past week. Wasn't a ton, but there were quite a few channels in there. I just think that that's probably a better way of dispelling the information. I could share about a lot of channels in one shot, and I don't have to spend time repeating myself. When I watched back last week's video, of course I love shouting out my favorites, but I think that that does a disservice to the new people or to the people who've been on FlossTube a while and maybe don't have a huge following. And I also I get repetitive. So I'm just going to change things up. I'm not going to do specified shout-outs, but check down below so that you can see what I watched this week. Okay, so that is it for the announcements. So let's go ahead and move on to... I'm going to do an ISO. So a couple weeks ago I did an in search of, and it worked out real well. I was in search of a pattern that's still in print, so that was really easy. This time is not going to be so easy. So I was reminded of this design when I was watching Stephanie Miss Oh So Crafty's latest, and she received one of this designer's pieces that then reminded me of this other piece that I really have been after for a while, but I could never remember the designer's name. Well, that designer is Black Swan Designs, and the woman behind that was Karen Weaver. I have no idea what Karen's situation is now, whether she's still with us or if she's just not designing anymore. I don't know. I don't know anything about Black Swan Designs, and I can't pull up anything on the Google. So not sure what's going on there. But the design in specific that I'm after is Magnolia, Angel, and Cross Stitch, and I think that that's the title. I'll insert a picture here so that you can see it. I did my due diligence this time, and I scoured the internet. International sellers and sellers here and various stash unload spots, and I can't find this piece. So it might not be findable. Unless somebody out there has a copy and they're willing to part with it, either temporarily or sell it to me. One of the two. I have talked about my love of the Southern Magnolias. When Danny and I find ourselves in a sort of forever home kind of location, I would really like to plant a magnolia tree. I have always loved them. Nora Corbett has a magnolia design, and I don't care for it. It doesn't really give me the essence of a Southern magnolia. So I am after this one in particular, this one by Black Swan Designs. So, as I said, if anybody has a copy that they're willing to part with, either temporarily so that I can stitch it up, or permanently, if you're willing to sell it to me, I would so very much appreciate that. And so, yeah, thank you. In advance, thank you. Next, let's move on to the Q&A. I have just two things to talk about in this segment today. The first is a question from Angela King. And so I'm just going to read what she wrote, and then we'll go from there. She said, how do you manage individual crosses on a HAID? Do you always make the last leg from top to bottom, or do you not worry about it? Now, Angela, I am not truly following your question. I'm not fully understanding what you mean there. So if you can ask it again, maybe in a different way, so that I might understand what specifically you're asking, I would appreciate that. But also, I'll talk more about this a little bit later, but next week I'm going to be doing a Stitch With Me video with my Heaven and Earth design. I did a Stitch With Me and a demo of how I approach Hades. Was that a year ago? Yeah, it was over a year ago. And I have promised to follow up ever since. And I haven't made good on that. And so my plan is to do that next week. I'm working on a piece that's really great for this demo. And since I have better worked out my Stitch With Me filming, I think that it would be a really great opportunity to do this next week. So that's the plan. But like I said, Angela, if you've got another way of asking your question, or if you want to wait until I do that video, I hope that I can help answer that question. Speaking of said Stitch With Me video, if you have any follow-up questions or any sort of questions related to how I stitch full coverage designs, ask them in the comments below and I will address them next time or when I do that video. I'm also going to go back to that original demo video and pull any questions that I had from there, because I feel that I definitely left some things rather wide open at the end of that Stitch With Me video, and that was certainly not the best opportunity for me to showcase how I do things because I was working in just one color sections. So that doesn't really help anybody trying to handle the confetti that inevitably comes with these full coverage designs. So that is the plan with this sort of more in-depth view and follow-up. So be sure to look for that video. I would expect Monday, Tuesday at the latest. I'm going to try to film it on Monday and have it uploaded same day, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Speaking of follow-up and Q&A, Stitchy Girl in SR last time asked me about my PVC table stand. And so I had mentioned that I was going to do, I was going to film sort of the dimensions and whatnot, as well as I was going to have Danny film me while I was stitching at said frame so that you guys could see it in action. And I am so sorry, I completely forgot. I thought about it approximately 7:04 this morning, just as Danny was walking out the door. Yeah, so I am going to endeavor to film that either today or tomorrow, make that happen, and it will be absolutely included in my next update video, and I'm really sorry for the hold up on that. I didn't mean to do that, but I totally forgot. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to works in progress. Now, when I spoke to you last Wednesday, I had told you that I was getting ready to work on my Lady of the Flag by Mirabilia for the 4th and the subsequent couple of days. So I was going to work on it the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, I ended up not getting to it that Wednesday, but I did pick it up on Thursday and I worked on it on Friday. So I did a couple days here. So here is what Lady of the Flag will look like when she's finished. Of course, we all know this design. Troublemaker that she is. And preview here of what she looked like the last time you saw her. My fabric here is a 32 count Belfast in Vintage Blue Whisper from Zweigart. And I meant to look back and see where I was before, but I think I know what I did. So we know the top is basically done. I really need to go through and do the Kryneck, and so I might do that the next time I pull this out. Maybe. We'll see. So let's go ahead and scroll up here. So I did quite a bit for just 2 days. Of effort. I felt really bad for only giving it 2 days, but that's how it goes sometimes. So I worked some of the palest yellow in the sash here, and then this little kick up of her dress here, and the staff, and then I finished out some of this down here. And I think I brought some of these over too. Some of those shades. that's where Lady of the Flag stands. I'm not going to get back to her until August, I think, which is kind of a bummer because I obviously haven't completed my July goal. My July goal is about halfway through there and across. So for the first time since I started this project last December, I'm behind. That's a little disheartening. One day would not have made the difference. Like if I had worked on this on the 4th, it wouldn't matter. Still, kind of a bummer. But that's okay, because she's going to get some dedicated time in August, and then I think a full week or 2 in September, because September 11th. She was created in honor of September 11th, and so I feel like it's fitting to give her some good time in September following that. So that's my plan there. So every day I have worked on my Heaven and Earth design, but I'm going to show you that last. So I finished that up on the 6th. And then on the 7th, let me see, Saturday the 7th was the DC Area Metro Stitchers meetup. And I had talked about taking my Rose Fairy with me to work on while at the meetup. Well, I ended up getting behind on my Heaven and Earth design, so I just took that with me. And that was perfectly fine because these stitching meetups is not a ton of progress. So I did one 10 by 10 block in 3 hours. So it's good that I didn't take Rose Fairy because I might have been a little disheartened at the progress that I didn't make, because these stitching meetups, they're never great for progress. But I have worked on Rose Fairy every day since. I worked on her a little bit on the 7th, but not until the evening. And I've worked on her every day since. So this is the Rose Fairy, or I think I'm going to start calling her the Rosé Fairy, because these flowers are not roses. I mean, they're like rose colored, but they're not roses. So I'm going to start calling this the Rosé Fairy. Like a blush Hawaiian, maybe. I'm also contemplating not stitching the wings. I might skip the wings. I don't know yet. Gosh, that would be really easy to skip the wings. I might just do that. I might just skip the wings. But we'll see. Okay, so preview here of what she looked like the last you saw her. This is, let me see, almost 5 days effort, but really 4, because I barely stitched on that Saturday. And my fabric here is a 28 count Lugana in Confetti by Picture This Plus. And here's where we are now. So I'm just going to set this right here so that you guys can see it for a few seconds. So the way that I have this set up on my frame, I can really only reach so far up before it gets uncomfortable. So about 40 stitches high is the section that I'm trying to finish up before rolling up. And I'm almost there. I have just this foot left to finish out. You can see some of the skin is missing there. And then there's a few ninja green stitches. For whatever reason, I don't know, the green seems to be multiplying. Like, I think that I've finished a color and then there's 3 more stitches that suddenly appear. That's what it feels like. There are 5 greens in this piece altogether, if you can believe it. So yeah, a few ninja stitches to finish up, and then I will roll up and work the next section. I had originally set the goal to have the bottom half done by the end of this week. I don't know what I was thinking. Working 2 projects in a day, like there was no way. There's just no way. So I'm hoping to have the bottom half done by the end of the month. And so I'm going to work on that for the rest of this week, except for one particular day. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And then another week here closer to the end of the month. So yeah, that's my Rosé Fairy. Next, let's get on with the Heaven and Earth Designs discussion. Who do I feel like working on this all the time? This might be another reason why Rosé doesn't get as much love. So I am working on In This Moment by Jeremiah Katner, charted, of course, by Heaven and Earth Designs. I am working on this for the 100 Days of Hade challenge, and I am just so stoked. I'm just so excited to work on this. It brings me joy working on this piece. So today is day 10. Today was the first reporting day for the challenge if you were registered and entering for prize drawings. There's was a time limit on everything, so you can't like jump in now and expect to win anything. But nonetheless, today is reporting day. So today is day 10. We're 10% of the way through the challenge. I have done 2,060 stitches. I have stitched every day, and that ranges anywhere from 50 to 400 stitches in a day. So, I took it off the Q-Snap because I figured every 10 days I'm going to take it off the Q-Snap and take sort of an overall picture so that I can watch the progression of the overall piece. So, I took it off the Q-Snap this morning. So that's where we are. I have made it to the right edge. So some of these stitches extend into page 9, which is fun. And I'm just steadily working my way down. This fabric is 25 count cream Lugana, which is unusual for me for Hades, but I ordered the cream when I ordered this gargantuan piece of fabric. And like I said, I'm really, really digging this. I'm really enjoying it. I sometimes have a hard time putting it down after 200 stitches. So yesterday I only managed about 50. And so today I don't have to do this, but I have decided to, if I have the opportunity, to play catch up. So for instance, I only did 50 yesterday, roughly 50, I didn't count exactly. And my goal is 200. So today I did my 200 and then 150 to make up for yesterday. And I had that done before 10. And I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop. I did because I know me. And you know what I tend to do? I tend to get obsessed with things and burn myself out. And so I'm not trying to do that 10% into this challenge. So slow and steady. Gotta force myself to take it easy. Anyway, so that is it for the Hade. So yeah, 2,060 stitches thus far into this 100-day challenge. Oh, you guys want to see the back? You can see the back. I got no back shame. Looks pretty good. Yep. So that is that. And so I will get back to this tomorrow since I've done my stitches for today already. Okay, so that will help us segue into plans a little bit. So I've got Rose Fairy through the end of this week. My original plan was to work on Rosé Fairy through Friday. However, this particular Friday is a little different. So, first of all, it's Friday the 13th. And everything in me wants to participate in dark 13 stitching. However, this particular Friday the 13th is also the 20-year anniversary of my grandma's passing. She died on July 13th. It was a Monday, 1998. And so as much as I would really like to say she was all into horror movies and the macabre and dark 13 stuff, it's just not the case. It just wasn't her. So I can't participate in dark 13 stitching, and I'm really bummed about it because this one is like, I mean, it's not just the 13th, it's not just the Friday the 13th, but it's Friday the 13th in July, which is like the original Friday the 13th date, like Jason, July, Friday the 13th, like it's a big deal, but because of the relation to something more personal and something that I've always tried to honor in my stitching in some form or fashion, I can't do it. Can't do it this July. So that's a bummer. So I have been racking my brain trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this Friday. Because I just kind of feel like I need to stitch something in commemoration of her. And so I looked through my whips to see if there was anything that really stood out to me as being my Grandma Elizabeth. And I didn't have anything. So then I thought, okay, so what can I start? I have Elizabeth by Mirabilia. I could do that. I could start that. It's just DMC, and then there's 2 colors of beads, but like I'm nowhere near that, so I could start that. Another Elizabeth piece. But another Mirabilia. I have another Mira starting in August. Do I really want another one on the go right now? I don't think so. So then I thought, okay, well, let me do something Snow White, because my grandma's absolute favorite was Snow White. And so I thought, okay, well, let me see if I can find something Snow White. So the Donut Stitch Snow White it's light, it's pretty, but it's not like super fancy or anything like that, but it's huge, as are all of those Donut Stitch designs. So I thought, okay, well, let me table that idea for a little bit. And then I thought, I have always wanted to do one of the Pinky the Pink princesses, which is artwork from Hannah Alexander that Pinky the Pink is then translated into cross stitch, and they are stunning. If you have not seen Dee Stitcher's Belle, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should definitely not only look up Pinky the Pink on Etsy, but go to Dee Stitcher's channel and find her Belle, because it's breathtaking. It's so beautiful. So I thought, well, I could do her Snow White. But then I'm back into this, it's another pretty lady phase. So I tabled the whole idea for a little while. Then I am, it's funny, I'm trying to pick fabric for this piece, this particular piece. And some of you might have seen it. I asked for your opinions on my Instagram stories earlier this week. And that piece is something that arrived and that I knew I was going to start immediately. Forever and Ever, the Songbird's Garden Series #1 by Cottage Garden Samplings, featuring the Northern Cardinal and the Christmas Rose. This is what I'm going to start on Friday the 13th. So my grandma's favorites were cardinals. She loved them. And blue jays. I have some pretty fond memories of feeding the birds that they had in their backyard. I vaguely remember peanuts. I don't know if we must have left the peanuts out for the squirrels. But I do remember feeding the cardinals and the blue jays. And you know that there is always the what is it, folklore or sort of theory that cardinals are loved ones who have passed on coming to visit. On top of that, this also features a Christmas rose, and I only have 10 years worth of memories with my grandma, and really fewer than that since I was 10 when she passed. So I don't have a whole lot of memories, but some of the stronger ones are at Christmas. Her tree, yeah, this is a good one to do in commemoration. So I'm starting this on Friday. It's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. Not to mention, it features a properly colored female cardinal. Love, and it's beautiful, and I already fell in love with it without even this personal association to it. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to start this on Friday. So is it dark 13 stitching? Nope, but that's okay. So that's happening on Friday. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that here in a second. So that is on Friday. Saturday, and for the following week, encompassing Saturday through the following Friday, I will be working on Only in This Moment by Jeremiah Kettner. So that's going to be my whip for the week next week, as well as over the weekend, as well as for the Haid Challenge. I'm going to try to get the page finished next week. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll sort of see. Okay, let's come back to Forever and Ever real quick. I had asked on Instagram stories some help with fabric, and I was trying really hard to do this from stash. Really hard. I didn't want to buy fabric. So I pulled out my bins of fabric, and I pulled all of the pieces that I thought, maybe this will work, maybe this will work, maybe this will work. And then I posted them on Instagram stories, and I said, help me out here, guys. And I don't remember which one won, so I'm going to put that down here, which one of them won. But so these are all of them. So Double Dipped Keone, Seaside, Jamie's Kilt, Lapis, Zephyrus, Sagebrush, and Dryad. And so sort of laying them all out and doing this Instagram stories thing, I don't love any of them. I don't. I actually ordered a piece of Lakeside Linens from 123 Stitch. I had to get some needles, like I was talking about a little while ago. I'm just out of my favorite needles. So I ordered like 4 packs of needles. I rust through them, so they go real fast. And then I also ordered a pair of scissors because my scissors are starting to rust. So I needed to get a pair of scissors. As much as I would like to say that I sprung for a pair of $85 gingers, the reality of the situation is that I rust things, and so that doesn't make any sense. So I just ordered some cheapies because I need a pair of scissors. And I also ordered this piece of Lakeside Linens. I can't remember which one I got. And I've never stitched on Lakeside Linens before, so I'm kind of curious. Based on my research, they do use Zweigart bases, so it should be no problem. And I know that I ordered a vintage line that would look a little bit more distressed, because I would like some subtle color variation, not a solid. If I'm going to pay for a hand-dyed fabric, I might as well make it look like it, right? It may as well. So, the good news is that it's a grayish, I think. And so if it doesn't work for this, then I'll use it for something else. I'm not too concerned about that. In fact, I know what that something else is. And that something else is something that arrived yesterday. And she's calling me so loud. Martha Agnes Sampler Roll by Stacey Nash Primitives. My time is swiftly passing by. My day of death is drawing nigh. Those youthful hands I now employ, worms of dust will soon destroy. I absolutely love this. So, if my Lakeside Linens doesn't work for forever and ever, then it will work for this. So that I ordered, like I talked about last time, from the Patchwork Rabbit. That flew an awful long way from the UK, so it needed some traveling buddies because no chart should travel alone. So on my travels, StitchCon and the couple of LNSs that I visited, I was looking for this. Of course, they were all out of stock. I happened to find that the Patchwork Rabbit does no longer, but had some hickory sticks. Classic Artwork sticks. So made famous by Priscilla and Chelsea, of course. I wanted to get some and see what all the fuss was about, plus, so you guys know my tastes have all changed. This called for like 8 times, so I had to get some. So I ordered half of what they had in stock, and then I just looked yesterday and they're all out. But I did see that they had some on 123 Stitch, so if anybody else is like me and you're looking for some, it's not impossible to find. Gorgeous. So I have some hick sticks in my life, and now I can see what all the fuss is about. Okay. Sure, some more Stacey Nash. This I saw on the wall at Keepsakes and wanted to know what it was. And so Keepsakes has this thing where you can pull it off the walls, and it's probably written on the back what the design is. Well, this one was way up high, and I am too klutzy for that. So I posted on Instagram stories, and the wonderful Laura, hi Laura, she was like, I know what that is. That's the Halloween Jack sewing roll. And the way that Keepsakes had it finished, it was just this part, and it was framed. But it's beautiful. I absolutely adore it. And it says, Jack-o'-lantern, such a fright, glowing on this Halloween night, grinning wide for all to see, spooky, but you don't scare me. And I believe it's done in all black. And so this is one of the things that I ordered directly from Stacey Nash Primitives on Etsy. Love this. Yep, love it. But should not travel alone. After I posted that I was looking for Martha Agnes, Diana from It Is Kismet was like, yeah, I'm all about that Stacey Nash too. And I said, well, which one are you after? And she said, I don't remember what it's called, but somebody with, there's a woman with some round hips and lots of gravestones. And I went, I like the sound of that. So this is the Thistles and Spells Pin Keep. And, yep, love that. Look at those hips. Those hips don't lie. Love it. So, Stacey Nash, all of it. I don't know who I am or what happened, but nonetheless. Okay, next. About a week ago, I was watching Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching. Lord help me, I did not need any more enabling, but Pam got me with this. Praiseworthy Stitches Memorial Park. I wondered if it spoke more specifically. No, it doesn't. So, Praiseworthy Stitches Baseball. Mom, I'll probably stitch this for you. So, spoiler. But don't hold me to any timeline. Yeah, Pam showed that and I went, oh, my mom would love that. Especially since it looks like the guy at bat is in classic navy and white, and then everybody out in the field is in red and white. My mom has recently become a die-hard Yankees fan. I don't know what happened there, but nonetheless. So, yeah, thought I would maybe stitch that for her. Maybe, Mom. No promises. So I found that on Stony Creek's website, and while I was there, I needed to order the next 2 installments of the Horrific Halloween Pattern of the Month series. I forgot to order June in the month of June, so I just paid the $3.95 for this one, and then this one was free, and it's free through July. I really like this one. This one's one of my favorites of the blocks. All the warts on the witch's face. Yeah, that's cool. This one is not one of my favorites. I care nothing about this newt, so I'm gonna have to fix that. There's just, I don't know. I don't love how that was charted. I don't love it, so I'm gonna change it. But I mean, I have newt. It has to be a newt. It needs to look like an actual thing rather than whatever it is. And so, let me see. The fabric is stitched. The fabric that they picked is Vintage Stormy Night Lugana. I'm assuming that's from Zweigart. Yeah, I think that's from Zweigart. And so I think that I'm actually going to use Zephyrus for that. It's got this moody blues and purples. I think that would be cute for this. So Zephyrus is going for that. So I'm going to use Zephyrus. Just needed to find the right thing. And so I'll just have to figure out placement. So that is decided. Whenever I start that, who knows when. But we shall see. So that is it for the haul. So final topic for conversation is knitting. So I have one work in progress, and then I have a purchase. And so I'm going to do the purchase first because it's right here. So I am a part of the 10K club at Eat Sleep Knit. And basically that gives me buyer perks. So I have early bird access to some things. And I also, there's several other perks. There's 10K club specials and whatnot throughout the year. My Black Friday shopping starts earlier than everybody else. It's pretty fabulous. Anyway, so the Yarnathon this year, the theme is Under the Sea. And each month they feature a dyer, and that dyer actually dyes up special colors just for Eat Sleep Knit. So they're Eat Sleep Knit exclusives. You can't get them anywhere else, either ever or yet. Some of them do release their colors publicly after the fact. And so being a part of the 10K club, I get early bird access. So they email out to the 10K club and they're like, hey, we have our new yarns for this month's featured dyer. Get it while you can because tomorrow we're making it public. I've done really good about not buying when it's exclusive, like those particular selling words. I've done really good about that this year. However, this one, I succumbed to the pressure because this time it was hedgehog fibers. Now, I didn't get the base that I went for, but I still got the colorway that I wanted, and I'm glad of that. So what I got was Skinny Singles in Splash. So they released 3 exclusive colorways on 3 different bases. I think it was their sock base, which is an 80-20 fingering, Skinny Singles, which is 100% superwash, singles, so single ply. And then I want to say their lace was the other base. I could be mistaken. It might be their DK or Aaron. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I got Splash on Skinny Singles. And it's way more green than it's showing there. It's definitely more green, like right through there. But this is beautiful. And do I have any plans for it? Nope, but it's beautiful, and so it will adorn the stash for a little while. And I just used my birthday cake from Hedgehog Fibers, my other Skinny Singles, so I know that I like this base. It's good. So that's that. That's the only yarn purchases. Trying not to buy yarn because I have a million whips and a million skeins of yarn in my stash, even beyond what I'm selling in D-stash. So yeah, don't need to be buying yarn. Okay, final thing is my current work in progress. This is the Through the Loops Mystery shawl for the summer, and I didn't put in a stitch marker on this one, but that's okay. Oh, that's the back. Okay. I wore black on purpose so that you guys can see this lace. Is it not just beautiful? So here's where we are. You guys saw all this. The last time I showed this to you, so last week, I was just done with the first repeat, so in this region. And so I have done the second repeat, and I am 7 rows from the end of the third. 7 rows to go on clue number 2. And I am just absolutely in love with this. It's turning out so beautifully. I'm really excited. So yarns, again, Northbound Knitting, Merino Silk Fingering, 50% Superwash Merino, 50% Silk, colorways Papyrus. And let me show you how much I have left. It's a little scary. There might be a case of Yarn Chicken here. So that's what I've got left of Papyrus. So Clue 3 released last Thursday night, just a little bit early. And Kirsten came out and she said that when she was done with Clue 2, she had 32 grams left of her color A, and when she finished up Clue 3, she had 10 grams left. So I'm going to have to weigh this. I really hope that I have at least 30 grams. Because, yeah, otherwise I'm playing Yarn Chicken. She also said that Clue 3 is the last time that we will use color A, so even if I can ink out just 3 stitches, that's fine. That's enough. So hopefully this will be enough to finish out Clue 3. Clue 3, we finally get into some striping with color B. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to that. And Velvet Underground, which I showed last time. And my yarn ball is just falling apart, but whatever. So that is all that I've been knitting. I need to get back to my Maytham shawl. The third shawl in Shawl Society 3 comes out. Is that now? No, August 1st. Yeah, August 1st. Whew, I'm aging myself, or advancing too quickly. So there is that. So I will work on this. I'm going to try to get Clue 2 finished up today. I wanted to finish it in time for filming today, but it was either stitch or knit, and so I chose stitching. Oh, this is so squishy. Shouldn't do that. My face is all made up. At any rate, that is all that I have to show you here today. Lots of things sort of going on these days, but that's all I've got today. So expect to see me sometime early next week with the Stitch With Me and sort of walk through on my full coverage stitching. Hoping to keep it under an hour because my last Stitch With Me was way too long. And then also I will see you next Wednesday with my next update video. Everybody, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're stitching. Thank you so much for your continued support of me and my channel. I will see you next time, and as always, be kind.